Welcome to this video on the VMD Auto Rez or Auto Rezer device. The VMD Auto Rez is basically designed to res items that might be needed around the sim, where only one is typically resed at a time. And then when that one's used up, another one is automatically resed. You can see some examples. I've got duck food in this particular sorter. I've got clickies, I've got water barrels, I've got the wind pump toolkits. So for an example, you have a water tower and you could put an Auto Rez pallet by the water tower and set up a sorter with these scripts in it. And then the Auto Rezer will res a water barrel. And then if the water is used up, in other words, the water tower pulls the water from the barrel and that barrel disappears, the Auto Rezer will automatically res another water barrel by that tower, and so on and so forth. Same thing with like any kind of animal feed. Let's say I've got duck feed in here as an example. The Auto Rezer could put that out as the ducks eat it. Once it's gone and that duck feed disappears, then the Auto Rez pallet will automatically res another one. You can have items in different sorters and put the Auto Rez script in those sorters. Some people like to have a sorter set up for all their animal feed, and then another sorter set up for all of their tools like clickies and wind pump toolkits and water barrels and things like that. It's up to you. Here on our sim, we just have one sorter that's named Resables. And so everything that we want Auto Rezers to res, we just dump into the Resable sorter and just do it that way. It's really up to you. The Auto Rez pallet will work sim-wide, so you can have your sorter in one location on the sim and the pallet in a completely opposite side of the sim, and the Auto Rezer will still work. However, it's your responsibility to make sure the items are resed within the proper range of the DFS item. So in other words, if you're going to res duck food out, you need to make sure that the Auto Rezer pallet is in range of the ducks so that they can eat. Same thing for water barrels. If you're going to res water barrels out, the pallet has to be in range of the DFS water towers or whatever you're going to have that water barrel put water into. So keep that in mind. Pallet will work sim-wide. VMD products typically will work sim-wide, but DFS items do have a range, and it's your responsibility to make sure things are resed within that range. When you unpack the Auto Rezer, you'll have some items that you see here. You have the Auto Rez loader, and that's what this crystal is. We're going to use that in just a minute. That loads the scripts into the sorter or sorters if you're going to use more than one. You have the Auto Rez pallet update crystal. I'll talk about that. That's this crystal right here. And then you have the pallet itself, which I have resed out right here. Now, this crystal that said pallet updater will update your pallets to the latest version. It will not update the scripts inside the sorter. To do that, you just use the normal loader script. So we really don't need this right here. This pallet is already the latest version. I just wanted to res this out to remind you that it does not update the scripts in the sorter. It only updates the pallets, just like the name of it says. So I'm going to do a long click on that and it will disappear as we don't need that. To load the Auto Rez scripts into your sorter, it works just like most other VMD products. You click on the crystal. It says waiting on sorter. You go to the sorter, admin, and load. And then that crystal will do its thing and load the scripts, and then the crystal will normally self-destruct, just like that. If it doesn't, you can delete it. Those crystals are copy, so you'll have one inside your inventory. So now this sorter is set up to use the Auto Rez pallets. So let's take a look at the pallets for some menu options here. Clicking on the pallet, I don't have anything assigned for it to res yet, so I'm going to do that here in just a minute. But I want to talk about some of these other buttons. You can set a warning level. So I've got 10 barrels of water in here. If I had water barrels assigned, I could click warn level and put in like 3, for example. And then when the sorter gets down to 3, say water barrels, if that's what I'm have that assigned to, I will get a notice in local chat that the water barrels are getting low on stock. Kind of a reminder to go, hey, you need to restock before we run out. So that's what that warn level is for. There is a custom button. If you have an item that the Auto Rezzer is not set up to res, then you can go into custom and you can set the item. Notice it says enter the exact name. The easiest way to do that is to click on the crate in your sorter that it's in. Now I'm going to use the wind pumps here for an example. The pallet does have wind pumps toolkits in its list, so I wouldn't need to do this. I'm just doing this as an example, but by clicking on it, that is the exact name right there. So you can actually just copy that and then you can paste it right into there, and that helps you get the exact name. Delete that space that's in front of it. Okay. Some other items under custom. You set the item name that we just did. You set the size. This is the size of the pallet that you want the pallet to move to when it reses that item. Rotation, how you want the object oriented. Set the height, various things like that. There's a test button to test it. The manual, the Auto Rez manual, goes into great detail on each of these buttons. So if you are going to set up a custom item, I suggest you just look into the manual. And we're actually going to look into the manual here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go back to the main menu. So that takes care of the custom and the warn level. This reload button, you might have to use it once in a while if DFS comes out with a brand new item and it's not on any of the assign menus. You can see if we go to assign, there's all kinds of assign categories here. Again, we'll touch on that in a minute. If you can't find the item, then clicking this reload button will cause the pallet to go out to the VMD servers and download the latest list of items that the pallet can res. And so hopefully the new item will be included in that list, and then you'll be able to find it when you go to assign items. And so let's talk about that. How do we assign an item? Well, you click the assign button, and my, look at that. There's like food 1, food 2, food 3, miscellaneous, water, clickies. Where in the world am I going to find duck food 100, for example? Which one of those food categories is it in? Well, the manual has a handy tool that will help you, and I just want to show you that real quick. So here's the VMD website. I'm going to go to manuals, sorter items, because the Auto Rez works with the sorter, and there is Auto Rez. Okay, so this will load the Auto Rez manual. I'm going to scroll down through here. There's things like on how to update, how to set it up, which is what we're talking about right now. The palette goes through all those buttons on the palette. Here's those custom buttons that I was talking about earlier, how to set the size, how to set the rotation, how to set the height. All that information is covered in the manual. Talks about multiple custom items in here. Then right here near the bottom, what button do I click? And that's exactly what we're talking about in this pop-up menu. I got food 1, food 2, food 3. Well, Auto Rez button list. If you click that, you're going to get a list of all kinds of things. So like hay bale 100 is in food 1. Hay bale 300, notice that's in food 1. This duck food 100, that's in food 2. Okay, so now that I know that, let's get this out of the way. I'm going to click on food 2. There is my duck 100, which is what that is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. If you notice, the palette changed sides a little bit, and the duck food actually rezzed out. Just like that, just as simple as that. Now, as the ducks are eating their duck food, let me scroll back just a little bit. And this disappears, so I'm going to do a take, simulating that they ate it all. And then the pallet, every so often, it polls the sorter, and will res another one. Now, notice at that point, my duck food dropped down to 3, which was the warn level. that I had set earlier. So in my local chat, I get a notice, Auto Rez pallet, duck feed 100 is getting low on stock. So it tells me that in local chat. So that's what that warn level is for. If all of your items get used up, I'm going to go ahead and just do another take and let it res out another one and another one. And here comes another one. And now it should be resing the last one. And you can see on my sorter, duck food now goes to 0. The ducks ate all that up. So now there's none in there. And what will happen is the pallet will turn red. Okay, that indicates that it's looking and it cannot find any. And there it goes, it turns red. Now, when an item is assigned, such as we had duck food assigned, you do get a slightly different menu. Okay, you get a start button, a stop button. You still have warning level, but you don't get those other buttons, such as reload and custom, different things like that. So to get back to that menu, all you do is you can pause the pallet. It turns blue, and then when you click on it, you'll get the custom button, just like you had before. If you use stop, notice this is current item set for duck feed, warn level is 3. If I go to stop, then the pallet goes back to its original size and it no longer has an item assigned. Warn level stays, but the item disappears, and I would then get the assign button to be able to assign it to another item, such as, for example, wind pump toolkits, which are under miscellaneous. And there's toolkit. So again, it resizes the pallet and pulls that toolkit out. That's pretty much all there is on the Auto Rez pallet. It's pretty simple to use. It's a great tool. It can keep your animals fed, keep your clickies out there. We do use it to keep toolkits resed near our wind pumps that are on the sim. Again, very handy tool, very easy to use. It will work sim-wide. Some problems we do have, or that customers do encounter, is it says it won't res my item or it can't find my item. That's normally because they don't have the script loaded like we did at first into their sorter. They could have not done that reload. Remember, we talked about the reload button, and that's mentioned in the manual to get the latest list update, or they're selecting the wrong item. Duck food 100 is not the same as just duck food, and it's not the same as duck food 300. So whatever item you assign the pallet to must match exactly to the name of the item that's in your sorter. Thank you for watching, and thank you for using VMD products. If you have any questions, be sure to consult the manual or just ask in the VMD group.